Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandragon's Cave. Today we're gonna be talking about Akainu from One Piece. He is at the moment the Fleet Admiral of the Marines, and basically it's a character very hated, let's say, very hated in One Piece community, I believe, because the things that he does in Marineford. We're gonna make this kind of drawing from the scene. Gonna make him small from this scene in Marineford when he's been shot at and exploded and everything. Everyone attacked him, and it has a massive hole in it, and he kind of moves and it's walking towards Ace and Luffy like a zombie, basically. A very scary portrayal of Akainu in this moment. So I want to talk about Akainu today because I think it's tightly connected with the theories I've been posting this couple of days about Dragon, Nico Robin, and Egghead, etc. First of all, I want to start kind of defining Akainu. Akainu, I think, as we know, he represents the dog in One Piece. Yeah. Akainu is red dog in Japanese. And I think he basically is being put as a Fleet Admiral, but he is a puppet. He's a puppet of them, and he is starting to realize about these, let's say, these problems. I want to do a little bit of floor here because I want to make a little bit of fire around and lava around, like this, like in the scene. So he's been put there after Marineford, etc. But he's starting to realize that he has no real power, that whatever the Gorosei says he needs to do, and he's not liking it. And I think I don't want a kind of redemption, but how Oda does things, I think we may see a turn of events regarding Akainu. I think Akainu needs to stand his ground of absolute justice and radical marine to kind of, not being governed by the Gorosei. Why I'm saying this? I'm saying this in connection to the theories I've been posting last week about Dragon. So Dragon and Akainu are kind of the same age, and I'm focusing this whole theory or this whole concept of Akainu in one specific comment that he does the whole time when he sees Luffy. And if you see my previous videos, you will see that I explain that every single time that he encounters Luffy, he will refer to him as Dragon's son. He never speaks his name as a Monkey D. Luffy, as a Straw Hat, as a thing like this. He's always referring to Dragon first. This is telling me, as I explained in the Dragon's video, that he has a beef, he has a problem, he has a situation going on with Dragon. Let's do the squarey face that he has here, and the ears. This is telling me Akainu has a problem with Dragon that has been going on for ages. In the last episode, it's been confirmed that Dragon, for some time, he says, for some time, I've been with the Marines. That means that maybe when he was teenager, 17, something like that. Now he's 55. So they are both around the same age. I think they were nakama, they were brothers. Borsalino, Kizaru is a little bit older, Aokiji is a little bit younger than them. So I think this kind of dragon in this Japanese culture, I think is representing obviously the white dragon from one of these four monsters, or these four creatures that are in different parts of the world. And I think originally, doing this comparative with Akainu, it tells you that at the moment, in destruction power, let's say destruction power, he should be a beast, as Akainu is, and as we've seen Akainu in Marineford. So I think, as we've seen in the flashback, Luffy, Ace, and Sabo being brothers, being a found family, I think this happened with Akainu and Dragon when they were at the Marines. When they were young Marines trying to learn the ways of the world, I think they had this relationship, but at some point Dragon met Olbia and could understand the justice of the world government that wasn't fitting like his own justice, so he decided to abandon. For all of this, I think Akainu was a spectator and he saw everything happening. That's why when we see Ohara flashback 33 years ago, and there's this small, well, not a small ship. There's like a evacuation ship there that Akainu says destroy it, because we don't know if any of the people from Ohara, so these guys from the library and everything, Clover's team, if any of these guys is there, we are in trouble. So he says just destroy the ship. So I think he does this because he has seen his brother, his Ace, his Luffy, his Sabo in Dragon becoming the most wanted person in the world, the enemy #1 of the world government, because he wasn't able to stop him when he left. And doing so, he has this kind of remorse, and he doesn't want to pass through the same problems again. I think we have kind of the sketch more or less here. Let's move now to do the line work. So I explained in my previous video about Dragon, please go and check it out, that he, very young, he found, let's say, love. There's no love in One Piece, but he found love in because it's a shonen, but in Nicolbia, and that means that he becomes soon Nico Robin's father and everything. And we see Akainu being a spectator of this, and how is the brother, is the friend. He doesn't want to say anything, or maybe he's openly against it, but he kind of is trying to convince Dragon to not follow that path, okay? In vain. So Dragon decides to leave, and we have this Akainu figure kind of closing himself completely to be a dog, and then probably that's when he starts there stepping up on the ladder and everything in the government, and becoming an almirante slowly, and you know, doing this kind of radical justice. I think he calls it one second to do this kind of bony face that he has. It is, yeah. Absolute justice. He has absolute justice. So I think it is a completely shock for him that his brother leaves, for this woman that it's a bad person for his opinion, for the government opinion, and we see him changing and becoming more and more bad. And all of this info I take from Oda making Akainu saying the whole time Dragon's son instead of Luffy. Instead of telling him his name, I'm saying, if there's a problem, this is a very interesting way to showcase it, let's say. As it's been confirmed that Dragon has been in the Marines some time ago, this guy is the same age, this guy is using these connotations, these remarks on Luffy the whole time, so that's kind of a no-brainer for me of information. I think I always do my stories on my characters, and it's something that I will do to kind of try to create a problem, a situation, and everything. I think Akainu wasn't able to save his friend, so his friend became this dangerous guy and going against the world and everything, and I think this was a shock for him. Let's do this melting part here. I think I choose this image of Akainu because he is kind of zombie, scary. It's a person with no brain. It's a person determined to kill. He doesn't actually care about anything, only about killing his prey, like a dog, like a crazy, like a mad dog. So let's see if we can do this flower as well. I wanted to talk about this for a bit because Akainu is a very interesting character. I don't think I want redemption, as I said, for him, but I think there's a story along the lines coming saying, okay, I realize that I've been doing wrong and I've been doing things that are not as they've told me, these secrets that the government has, and this kind of dark face of the government with the Gorosei being these kind of monsters and all these lies they've been told and everything, and they are actually controlled by these people in the darkness, by Imu in the darkness. I think he needs to realize of this and have like a final, let's say a final visualization or a final kind of epiphany or something, saying, maybe when he's dying or something, saying like, okay, Dragon brother, you were right, I was wrong here, I should have listened to you, and during the whole time I tried to do my justice, my absolute justice, but I was wrong. Something in the lines of this. It wouldn't be a redemption, but it will be kind of, you know, I'm aware of this problem, I realized late, but I realized of this problem and I'm gonna try to fix something. So maybe he does like a final move to try to help them. I think Aokiji is gonna play a very important role. If you check my Aokiji video as well, you will see. I think Aokiji is gonna play a very important role in this realization of Akainu, because they portrayed them as the opposites. So you have Akainu being the absolute justice, and then you have Aokiji being the lazy justice. And let's try to do some flames around like this. I see it very interesting because with all this kind of uncertainty with Aokiji and what is he gonna do and what is he not gonna do, why is he with Blackbeard, and all of these questions that we have open now, it creates a very interesting and big parallel with Akainu, and that he's actually following blind orders. But now, as I said, realizing that he has no power and the government and these kind of Gorosei guys are the ones who control who control the world from the shadows. This is the cape. This side is gonna be the cape. This is the inside of the cape. We will do like this. Okay. And then we will make some more flames here. I love the character of Akainu because he's kind of the contrast, the good and the evil, and the bad things of the world, or the indifference, or kind of the when you are ignorant and you are blind and you are like obeying orders without actually knowing who are you following. This is kind of the truth of the world sometimes as well. Like you have this kind of people that follow and they don't know actually what they are following. And it is very, very interesting that because this is gonna be dark, and I wanna do this like this. Akainu, so kind of to define what I want to say about Akainu is Akainu was like a brother to Dragon while they were in the Marines. They are the same age, I think very young, both of them when they were very young. Dragon started to have something with Nico Olvia. They had, because they had Nico Robin, he decided to leave the Marines against Akainu's opinion, against Akainu's advice. And then, obviously, because Olvia and Dragon, they are very, very work-focused people, they ended up kind of abandoning their child, abandoning Nico Robin in this case, and leaving them into someone else's care and going into the world to save the world, no? And to pursue their work career, okay? So I think Akainu grew resentful because of this, and that's when in the current timeline he meets Luffy several times, and he always refers him to Dragon's son, because he has seen his brother leaving the Marines, leaving the good side, and becoming this monster for the world and this enemy, #1 enemy of the world. So I think this is like a spine, like something that is itching inside him, and he wants to bring Dragon to justice because of this. And this ambition that he has is kind of dark ambition. So I think he was actually the only one that knew about Nico Olvia, and this obviously should come with a flashback, blah blah blah, etc. You see that the hatred that he has towards pirates in Ohara, in Marineford, is so massive. He's been so like indoctrinated, so it's like taught like a dog to hate the pirates, and to hate the revolutionary, and to hate the kind of the bad guys, that he needs to have like a turn at some point, and he needs to see the reality for himself. He needs to find someone like Luffy that it's a good pirate and there's nothing wrong about it. And this may even be with Aokiji's actions. I think Aokiji is the one that will open his eyes, so he can later on in the story kind of, I believe he's gonna go in the apology line. I think he's gonna see Dragon at some point, he's gonna apologize to Dragon, he's gonna somehow save Dragon's life from the Gorosei, because you want to create a storytelling, you want to create world building, you want these two characters to have a problem that they need to fight it first, and then they need to realize it, and they need to try to make peace with it. Because if you think about it, One Piece, it's all about found family. It's like traveling the world, finding your own family in a crew, like Shirohige, like Whitebeard, like everyone, like Ace did. And then at that point you kind of grow and learn many things. And this is the sleeve here on the side. This is gonna be darkened as well. And then at some point you learn from the experiences of life, and you design your own you design your own course, your own path. Let's paint this as well like this. I want to see the bad dog that turns himself from the government and attacks his own owner, no? In this case, the Gorosei. That can be very poetic for this character. Not as a redemption, as I said, because he killed Ace and he, for us and for everyone, he's a bad character. Not as a redemption, but as a justice in the world, like to see you've been using me and now I'm gonna bite you because the means, the way that you use me, it wasn't a good thing what you've done with me and what you've done with the rest of the Marines. So I think he's gonna bite the hand that gives him the food. Like this is a saying that we say with the animals sometimes, like this is a saying that you say when someone that is helping you, don't bite the hand that gives you food or gives you help. This is something, it comes from the dogs, and with this whole kind of similes with the animals, with Oda, it could be very convenient if the character that it's a dog representation, it behaves like a dog. He's been loyal, he's been faithful to the master, he's been doing whatever the master said the whole time. Gorosei, in this case Imu, without knowing that the figure of Imu exists, because he doesn't know. And at some point he needs to bite that hand that is giving him food and attack the Gorosei. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if he's even able to take one of them out or something like this. But he needs to, I think Akainu needs to die at the government hands in a very dramatic way. And in this moment he will repent of the things, or maybe how we don't want to see his redemption or his turn into a good guy. Maybe Oda can show this even with an inner speech that he's kind of dying there, and he's talking to Dragon in his mind, like, oh brother Dragon, forgive me because my sins, I done this, you were right the whole time, I've been a dog, blah blah blah. And all of this always, of course, in connection with Nico Robin, and in connection with Gorosei, in connection with Olvia, and yeah, so I don't know why, but these clues from Oda are giving me this this impression of the character and what he's gonna do. And yeah, this one is fire, this one inside. Let's do some lines like this inside as well, so I can define it to see it more, so we don't go out of the line. This one is fire, and this one is out, but there's some lines outside, and there's another fire down here. I love One Piece, as you may notice with the videos I do when I talk about it, with all of these things. I love the good characters and the bad characters as well, because it gives game to the story. It lets you imagine what can happen. It makes you theorize and think about ideas and concepts that maybe you haven't thought before. And with Akainu, even being a bad guy, even being someone to be hated and someone like this, it makes it a very bad character, you know, a very, in the sense of good, bad character. That's what I mean, because the backstories and the connections that you have. I think, as we haven't seen anything about Dragon, if you see in this Kuma flashback, we see a lot of things about Kuma, about Ivankov, about Genie, etc. But they are not showing you Dragon yet. I think they are holding Dragon for when they do Nico Robin story. And when they do Nico Robin story, then they will be revealed. Dragon information, Nickel information, Akainu information, in the flashback as well for Ohara. What you see is that he's talking with Vegapunk and he says, oh, there's some giants there, and then they are taking the books, and Dragon says, don't worry, I already had a chat with them, they are good, they are okay. So actually Dragon has connection as well with the is telling you, hey, remember that Dragon is telling you in this flashback this about these giants, and those giants are Saul and whoever is with Saul there. So he's kind of saying, I'm gonna give you some info later about Dragon maybe talking with Saul. So who is connected with Saul? Nico Robin is the best friend, no? Is this Deri Shishi? Is this connection? Is this family that Robin finds when she has no one? Is this mentor that helps her to believe in herself and survive, let's say survive the world, no? So I think that will be revealed as soon as we talk a little bit about Robin. Let's do the face as we always do, a little bit like this, leaving some spaces in white. I like to leave some blank spaces like this. Okay. I think the fight with Akainu and Aokiji, it tells me a lot of info as well of the contrasts and who needs to open his eyes. I think this found family for him, that is the Marines, because we see a portrait of Akainu when he was a kid as well, that he's kind of half done and everything, half destroyed, like maybe he comes from a really poor place or a place that is been attacked and destroyed by pirates, we suppose, I don't know. So all of this is kind of telling you that this is a troubled character and there's some things that happened with him that we don't know and we need to know to understand. If he's gonna be a bad guy at some point that Luffy needs to directly fight, I don't think so. I don't think so, because yes, he killed Ace, but Ace came back to fight. He was already released by his own accord, and as Luffy says, Ace has his own path. This is a very important concept to understand as well, that Ace by himself, let's find the black color, Ace by himself decided to stay and fight, because he was released already, they were escaping already, and the other guys were protecting them already, and because these ugly comments and that Shirohige is not the king, he's always second to a blah blah blah, and then Ace gets offended and he decides to stand, because we know this Ace character that he can't actually let this guy escape because he's protecting Luffy, or he's protecting, in this case, Whitebeard as well. So, but it's his own decision. You can make hate Luffy towards Akainu because he killed the brother, yes, but in the big scenario of Oda, if you think about it, and if you analyze what Luffy said before when the Ace went into trouble at the beginning, Luffy kind of lets Ace have his own story, and he says, oh no, he has his own story, he will get upset with me if I go to save him or whatever. This is the same. Ace decided to stay and fight, so I don't think we all hate this guy, yes, but at the same time, it was totally Ace's decision to stay there and fight. So I think Oda will go in that line, and he will say, I am not gonna make Luffy fight Akainu because I don't think there's a point there. I think Luffy is focusing in pirates and is focusing in bigger goals like maybe Gorosei Akainu, Gorosei Imu and all these things, more than the Fleet Admiral. I think this is more Gorosei executing him because he didn't follow some orders regarding Dragon, because all these connections with Dragon, and revealing this kind of making him see that there's something above him, and he's been the whole time being tricked, and that's gonna trigger him because he's like a catastrophe, he's like a calamity, he's like a power of destruction, and he's gonna go crazy. And how he's so powerful, I think maybe they use him as a test to show you someone else's power. Say, okay, you see this beast that we have here, this crazy beast that we have here, I'm gonna kill this guy using another character, let's call it whoever is from the Gorosei. So I'm gonna kind of make that Gorosei guy more fearsome than he actually is already, and it will make sense for me. You have this repentment moment, you have this kind of inner speech towards Dragon, and the actions towards the government is because at some point he finds Aokiji and they talk and they say, look, this happened, blah blah blah, and given that moment he understands that he's been used, he's been used by this mystery person controlling the world, sitting in the throne that no one should have been sitting, and that's gonna piss him off and make him act reckless and die probably. So you will have like a semi redemption for him, and I will be good with it because you don't see him doing a good thing, but it's in his own interest because he's being used, and at the same time he is kind of avenging this proper justice and fighting this Gorosei or this Imu or this character. It couldn't even be like that. It could even be like Imu himself or itself, or I don't know. Imu as a character kills him just with the move of her hand like this, like moving just the hand like this or something, boom, and then Akainu is dead. Like, oh my god, this is really scary character then, that is able to kill this beast, this monster, that defeated many characters in Marineford, made various attacks to Whitebeard, made a hole on his head, and then made a hole in Aces and killed him, almost killed Luffy, marked Luffy's chest, and Luffy survives because he's saved by Jinbei and Crocodile and Shanks and everyone. So kind of this power of nature, uncontrollable power of nature, it is killed like this by someone else, kind of to define who is more scary in that case. Well, I think I've been talking non-stop the whole time, and I think we got this already. I'm really happy with the drawing, it looks really nice. I'm just gonna add little bit of blue here, because this is supposed to be blue, and do some extra lines here with the lava. Sorry, like this, and I think we're almost done. Do a little bit of texture, like it is bubbling or something. I think it's a good theory. Please check out my Dragon video as well, my Aokiji video, so you can understand a little bit more why I say these things about Akainu, and yeah, let's try to find him a purpose to be, because at the moment he's only being used, and he just realized when last meeting with the Gorosei. He doesn't like it, and he needs to start to see the things as they are. And at the moment, he's not having he's not having it. So it can be very, very interesting. I can't wait to see what is he gonna do and how is he gonna turn and who is he gonna attack or try to, I don't know, kill or defeat or something like this. So let's do this a little bit darker, like this, yeah. And we could even do like this, like. Yeah, that looks good like this. Because we add now a little bit of 0.2, like it's kind of dripping and yeah, with this kind of effect there. How is hot? We add some extra lines. Well, I hope you like the theory, you like the concept, and feel free to comment and say your opinions, okay? And let's open discussion about, let's see if we can unravel what's going on with Akainu. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23, you can say it as you want. This is the Man Dragon's Cave. I hope you like it, okay? And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.